What's shaking YouTube nights? Welcome to the Lords of the Long Box presents the Cover Price comic book shakers of the week. As always, we come to you Thursday with a banging list, and we're going to have some fun today. We're going to give away some stuff, perhaps, but being that tomorrow's Friday, you know what that means? It's Freestyle Friday. So let's dig deep in them crates and let's get you a little something.
It's a mad world. 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 Baby talk. Baby talk. Baby talk. Baby talk.
The baddest on the microphone apparatus is here. When I rock a rhyme, often eyes are dropping a tear. It's so beautiful, it's America's landscapes when this man makes lyrics like the syrups that you pour upon your pancakes. My mandate is to grip minds like a handshake. Spit Orlando Lakes and go skinny dip with the fan base. Over any damn breakbeat, I hastily make pastries tastier than anything that Wolfgang makes. So take notes out of suckers, I make coats, lump of some like Bubba Gump fishing on lake boats. I take jokes and turn the comedy into drama. I'm bagging on your mama, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer behind ya. I'm a rhyme writer, lock stock, smoking the ganja. Rebuttals befuddle, leaving a puddle of saliva, sillies. You couldn't handle Randall when I throw my grammar at you. It hit your head and you would think I threw a hammer at you. I point the camera at you like Herb Ritz. Develop it, then use the pictures to pick up bird shits. You're nervous as the impervious wordsmiths hanging out in Rafa's new crib come with the verses.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cover Price. Our Lords of the Long Box presents the Cover Price comic book shakers of the week. Laura, say what's good to people.
Hey everyone, this is a cool list. JB and I were kind of scanning through it backstage, and there's some interesting ones on here. I'm excited.
This is Oprah list.
Our international man of mystery in the fedora, JB, say what's good.
How you doing, everybody? And welcome to another edition of the Cover Price Shakers list on Thursday night. And this is straight over. I want proof of life on almost anything on this list.
Yeah, this show is compiled from our friends over at CovrPrice.com for your price guides, collections, and trends. The top 10 lists we drop every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, and the shakers that we drop every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. The show is also proudly sponsored by our friends over at Bird City Comics. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off anything in the Bird City Comics store. Should I show it now?
Sure.
All right. This is
you don't want to tease it. You don't want to tease it for.
This is what's dropping Friday, boys and girls. What time is it dropping?
This one's going a little bit earlier than our normal time tomorrow. It's going 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Local Man. All the inks is done by Tim Seeley, and the coloring is by Tony Fleece. And I'm guessing anybody in the chat will be able to guess what this is homaging.
Yes, that turned out great. The colors are just popping off of that.
I
Yeah,
dig
it's
it. I don't
pretty.
know what local man is, but I dig it. And as usual, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna give away a copy or two on today's show. So pay attention because we may do a randomizer as well as ask some questions of you.
Once we get to some likes, let's get to like 50 likes before we even start talking about giving anything away. TiVo,
Agreed.
come on, we get 100 people
Agreed.
in here. We need to get 50 likes, and then we're gonna give away one of those comic books. Come on.
Yeah. And also for the people that have won that were supposed to get shipping from me, please remind me on Instagram. I still haven't forgot about you. I know Ant is supposedly shipping the other ones that we did on the giveaways. But then I also have some that, let's face it, I mean, the new year was busy and then we had storms and then it was like crazy, but things are getting back to normal right now, kind of, hopefully, majorly. We'll see, man. Work has finally calmed down a bit so I can get my mojo back. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Stella. I'm getting her groove back for
And you're
Marvels.
rocking the cape while you're at it. I mean, come on.
And the eye. Come on now. Only when I do my hair can I rock coca levitation because, if for a hat, then it just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Doctor Strange doesn't wear a hat. Or,
You couldn't even see the eye until you leaned back a little bit. Now we can. There we go.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There you go. And then my girlfriend was telling me you have to wear a solid shirt underneath or else it doesn't. If I wear something else, then yeah, exactly. So
it detracts.
Yeah. Once again, this is the Cover Price Comic Book Shakers of the week, where we look at the biggest sales or the most interesting sales of the week for January 12th. Go to check out CoverPrice.com and you can see all the shakers for this week. And as a fun giveaway, I want you to do right now before we start. You got 10 seconds. Over under on the number of Spider-Man books you think made it on this week. By Spider-Man related books, you made it on this week's list. Closest
On the
over
Shakers
under.
list?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, because normally people don't know, right? Because on the top 10 that comes out, people get that list. But Shakers, they kind of pluck some. So we give you guys a few minutes here to talk about it, as and also just talk about how awesome Bird City Comics is and how this is dropping Friday. So I'll put your over under on the a number of Spider-Man related books. I'm going to give you a 30-second
big
countdown.
numbers over
How's
here.
that
Big
sound?
numbers.
Yeah, since there's 52 people in there, I'll give you guys a quick little countdown. All right, so those who made the over under, we stopped as of now since maybe the first book may have something to do with it. But don't worry, we're gonna give away some other stuff too. So once again, this show is the Shakers of the Week. So let's get right to it. Who's got the first one?
Ladies
All right,
first.
let's kick it off. Ladies first. Amazing Spider-Man 688. This is J. Scott Campbell, Lizard 1 in 50 variants. This came out in 2012. J. Scott Campbell's books have made the Shakers list many times, but most of them have been Good Girl covers or his first artwork, which is contained in Nintendo Power number 6. This cover is quite unusual for him as it's a cover of the Lizard and not in his Good Girl's wheelhouse. The book has become rare, and rare Spider-Man variants have stood the test of time and held their value in this declining market. Graded copies come to market more frequently than raw copies, with a 9.8 topping out at over $3,000. We've only recorded a handful of raw sales in the last 5 years, with the last one in February of 2022. Nearly 1 year later, a raw copy sold for an amazing $600 on January 6th of this year. I guess we can't call J. Scott Campbell a one-trick pony. I've only seen this one time in the last 10 years. I've seen this book
I've never
once.
seen this in the wild.
He did a run on the Amazing Spider-Man, I think, where he actually did the internal art too. And I always said he does great covers of the female type, as Laura was saying, but man, the way he draws like Peter Parker, it seems a bit effeminate. I don't know. It's
You
just
said it. I didn't say it. You said it.
yeah. I mean, it's just I'm calling it as it is. But but he draws curvy women fantastic. That's his stilo. So first shaker on the list, if you're paying over under as Spider-Man number 688. So no more over unders, guys, since we already did the first one. But we're gonna do some cool stuff and give away. So make sure we hit over 50 likes already. So we're gonna give away
Nice.
some stuff, man, because
Very
we're all
cool.
about
Good job,
giving.
everybody. That's awesome.
We're all about the boys and girls here. All right, Amazing Spider-Man number 688, J. Scott Campbell, Lizard 150 variant in 2012. I can't tell you how rare it was for 1 in 50 in 2012. I mean, nowadays, it was a bit of a lull back then, but 1 in 50 in that time. And then I think comic collectors who look for rare variants are now looking back and seeing, hey man, back in like the aughts being the 2000s and early 2000s. I mean, now it's crazy, but there were some stretches there where you didn't get huge print runs. So ASM 688, the J. Scott Campbell 1 in 50, $600 in a raw near mint 9.0 9.4. So that's not even a slab copy. So all right, so that's one on your one for your offer or on your over under. So what do we got for number 2?
All right, I always really wondered what the story was with these, so I bet you have too. Sit back and relax on this one. Number 2 on our list, we've got Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1, the Golden Record reprint from 1966. Now, the Golden Records label was owned by Simon & Schuster and started distributing books with vinyl record accompaniments in the late 1940s. Now, in the 1960s, they partnered with Marvel Comics, ultimately releasing 4 different titles. Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Journey into Mystery 83, Avengers issue number 4, and Fantastic Four issue number 1. Each sold for $2.49 and included the comic book and a record. Although officially reprints, all were released within a few years of the original first print editions. As these first print editions continue to rise in value, becoming more and more out of reach for collectors, the Golden Record reprints have all seen their values rise in response. Interestingly, when we look at the CGC census, there are currently almost 4,600 graded copies of the first print of ASM number 1 from 1963, but only 800 for the ASM number 1 Golden Record reprint from 1966. Now, this past week, we saw a Golden Record reprint ASM number 1 CGC 9.8 breach 4,500 for the first time. Considering a CGC 9.6 first print copy sold for 336,000 back in November of 2022, the Golden Record reprint is clearly a far more affordable option for adding this seminal and still Silver Age first print. For adding this seminal still Silver Age comic book to your collection. Note, the Golden Record reprints can be difficult to distinguish from the original first prints. One major tell is that there is no prices printed on the covers. Also, the back cover ads are for the Golden Records Company, of course.
Interesting.
Yeah, for the longest time, these were kind of a novelty. Like I would say, like maybe 5-10 years ago. Like I wanted the Journey into Mystery first appearance of Thor, and you could typically get that for about $3,000. But now prices are ridiculous. I mean, but it's kind of a cool thing because I for those who watch the channel know that I collect comic book records. They come in 45, and what's interesting to me is
the Power Records. Is that what they are? The Power Records? Because I collect those also.
Yeah, and the key is, I mean, the comic may be a 9.8, but look at the record, see if there's scratches on the record, because I guarantee you, kids were playing the hell out of these records, and I played them one time, and it's really cool because it's kind of like old time radio time voice.
I was
guess,
just gonna ask that what
yeah.
it sounded like.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
These were great for my child. I have a couple of these. I might send you one, Laura. If you can play, if you have a record player, these are fantastic.
Ellie does. They're actually coming back right now. Record players are
at the end of the
Oh,
at the end of the narrative, they beep for you to turn the page.
Yeah.
And then they tell you when to flip the record over to get the other half of the story. I had the Amazing Spider-Man Power Records comic that told the story of ASM 124 and 125, which was the Man-Wolf story.
Yeah, I got that one
Jay
too.
Jonas, the Jay Jonas Jameson's son, comes back from the moon with the medallion around his neck, and there's one scene in there where he rips the medallion from his neck in the werewolf howls, and it scared the hell out of me as a kid. Man,
It's a whole production. It's not just boring somebody like, on some audiobooks
they're
where
acting them
it's
out.
just,
Yeah.
somebody's just reading stuff. It's they are acting it out, sound effects and everything.
I would love to hear one. I would love that.
They've actually those podcasts actually made a comeback. There's like a Wolverine series and something else that's on like I want to say Spotify or something, where it's a whole story told in just in audio. So it really allows you to it's like reading a book, where it really describes what's going on and everything, but you get special effects, sound effects, and you get actors.
It immerses you differently than just like reading a comic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but these old ones have that old-timey radio voice. I don't know if any young cats understand what I'm talking about, but if you listen to old radio broadcasts, I meant it's kind of like old Hollywood movies. They had a particular way they spoke, back in the 50s and 40s and 60s. But the ASM, the Golden Record reprint from 1966, CDC 9.8, $5,400 and 5,425. Man, I never would have known. Here's probably the most racist book on the list.
Okay. Yeah. So the American Air Force is number 2. This came out from Magazine Enterprises in 1944. Keep that in mind. This book has some issues, but it's a product of the time. It features Uncle Sam looking on as American planes swarm Emperor Hirohito with some stunning imagery of the day. This is one of the few books to give the American public a look behind the veil, as it featured stories of mostly unknown events that occurred. It was an informational source for those back on the home front, delivered in a way that took some of the sorrows surrounding the situation across the sea while keeping people informed. It often featured up to 10 short stories featuring American aviator Dick Bong. What a name. And the American people loved it. But fervor for the book.
What was his name again?
What was his name? Can you say that again?
Really? Dick Bong.
All
There you
right.
go.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Fervor for the book ended pretty quickly once the subject matter, World War II, ended. It quickly fell into obscurity, but occasionally pops up for sale in raw or low-grade slabs. Recently, the highest grade ever to reach the market and the highest grade on the census went for a whopping $3,000 in a CGC 8.5. That's an astounding jump from its last graded sale of a CGC 4.5 back in 2021 for a paltry $290. This goes to show there are fans and collectors of everything, those who are willing and able to pay to acquire an obscure book such as this.
That's some time machine shit right there. An
Yeah, it is.
8.5 from 1944. Especially if it was like if it came from the armed forces and they shipped it to soldiers overseas, and and they had to bring it back, and but at 8.5 for 3,000. Wow, this would totally
cover
get
would
canceled
never get
nowadays.
made.
But
This
yeah,
cover
this
would
image,
so never
Yep.
get
but,
made.
I mean, it was a time of in this time, if you remember, superhero comics really, they didn't have villains back then. They were all fighting in World War II. Like they would show pictures of Captain America famously punching Hitler, right? And then images of Japanese soldiers, what they thought they were, and there's a dark side of this as well, as the Japanese Americans that were interned in America for the longest time during World War II, even though they were born here. But it just, times have changed, and so if you were to do this cover nowadays, you would get canceled, definitely. I mean, or that, or swastika, or something crazy. But not everybody's Kanye. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I said it. American Air Force issue number 2 magazine from 1944. $3,000 and 8.5. I still think that's way undervalued if you can even find any.
Agreed.
Speaking of the era, let's what's next?
And you segued right into it. Next up on the list, we've got Captain America issue number 5 from 1941. Now, old school Captain America books are growing increasingly rare. Being books that debuted in the 40s, they normally feature subject matter that was impactful for the day. This book is a prime example, as it features the circus coming to town that is secretly a Nazi cabal aiming to kill high-ranking American military leaders. Now, of course, Cap and Bucky knocked the crap out of them and saved the day, but it really exemplifies the growing fears the then isolationist Americans felt as the Nazi regime was sweeping across Europe. Now, people bought these books like crazy. They read them, they passed them around, but rarely did they save them. Also, there was a heavy paper drive for most of the 40s, but heavily from 1941 to 45. Now, during the war, the lumber industry was hit hard by the loss of men sent overseas and leaving the hard labor jobs for higher paying jobs in the defense industry. Many comics from the 40s went out this way, significantly decreasing their print runs. That's why it's always incredible to see what they're worth today. Recently, a CGC 1.5 copy sold for a whopping $5,040. Now, with only 22 graded sales in the last 12 years, and even fewer raw sales in that time, it's tough to measure growth across multiple grades with only one sale. However, the most recent comparable grade we have was from March of last year when a CGC 6.5 sold for $4,427. And every time these books come to market, it tends to raise the floor, as it not only features the first Avenger, it also features early work from legendary members of the genre, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. There is always a place for a book like this in the hearts of collectors, a spot that was often previously occupied by a pile of cash.
Wow.
Wow. 1941 and still only a 1.5. I mean, if you could find them, there's some great. This is after. Remember, he had the triangle shield. When the first Captain America comics came out, remember he didn't quite have the round shield yet, so he just had that first. Ever the first appearance. Yeah, the first appearance just shows him punching out Hitler, and he still had like a shield that looked like triangle shield. Yeah, so there's 95 of you watching, only 42%, only 42 likes. So if
what's
come on,
going
get us
on?
to
Yeah,
50
we want to
likes,
give away a book. Let's get a
want to
few
give
more
away some
likes
shit,
up
man.
here.
Come on now, come on. Now, Captain America Comics issue number 45.
Free.
May
It's a free
5th,
thing. You just hit the button.
1941, $5,000 in a CGC 1.5. This one is definitely an offer.
All right. Dark Shadows Story Digest number 1, published by Western in 1970. Dark Shadows originated in 1966 as a daytime television show on ABC, and it ran until 1971, spanning 1,225 episodes. The show started off slowly but picked up steam with the introduction of Barnabas Cullens, a vampire who eventually became the show's star. Gold Key began its run of comics in 1969 by releasing 35 issues. Since then, Innovation, Moonstone, Hermes Press, which were reprints of the Gold Key run, and Dynamite have all released comics based on the property to go along with several movies, including the Tim Burton reboot in 2012 starring Johnny Depp. In 1970, Gold Key released Dark Shadows Story Digest containing a non-canon story called The Interrupted Voyage. This low-print magazine has become one of the rarest collectibles from the TV show, and this week, a graded 9.8 sold for $750 on January 10th. Not bad for a daytime soap from the 60s.
I was going to say, I remember the Tim Burton movie. It was not.
It's really
that
good. It has
Did
Michelle
you?
Pfeiffer.
Perhaps I need to watch it again. But yeah, Tim Burton has his
No,
lane,
it's
and
good.
people follow him. Yeah. Like one of my favorite movies of Tim Burton is Frankenweenie. If you ever seen that.
Yeah, my kids like that
I'm a
movie.
sucker for dogs. So, anytime you see that really gets you right in the feels, you know what I'm saying? Right in the feels. So Dark Shadows Story Digest number 1 from Western Comics 1970 is CDC 9.8 for $750. Man, that dude does
With
not
Michelle
look happy.
Pfeiffer, though, isn't she like the most beautiful woman that's ever lived, ever?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah,
gonna
if you
say,
say it just like that, again, just a little
she
softer.
kind of is.
yeah.
Have you ever seen
Hello.
Stardust? Oh my God.
I love Stardust, man. Neil Gaiman is
Really?
my shit. That's one of my favorite artists. Yeah. Storytellers, writers. Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite storytellers, like American Gods. What was the other book that he did that I read? Yeah, anything Neil Gaiman does, I'm down with, man. So we go from Dark Shadows Story Digest to something perhaps even darker. I have talked about this book on this show numerous times in the past. I'm glad to see it's on here.
I don't even know what to say about this one, guys. All right, here we go. Next up, we've got Faust, issue number 1, originally published in 1989 from North Star. Now, Faust, created by Tim Vigil and David Quinn, was one of the most popular adult comics of the late 1980s. It was even one of the best-selling independent comics at the time, with one issue selling over 100,000 copies. This series was graphic, violent, and sexual. It clearly proved that not all comics were for kids. Now, despite its popularity in the early 90s, it took 33 years to see its all-time high sale this week of $480 for a CGC 9.8. Now, check this out. Issues number 7 through 15 were printed by Vigil and Quinn's own publisher, Rebel Studios. Now, those issues are most rare. 13 was published years after issue 12, and another 7 years after that for issues 14 and 15, concluding the run 25 years after the first issue launched. Of course, these issues are the rarest and feature the most adult covers of them all. Actually, number 14 is quite notorious among Faust collectors and sells for $100 raw on its own. Now, Faust has been optioned numerous times. Once in 2000 by Lionsgate, and then in 2021 by Sony Pictures for an animated series. However, it's not widely known that project has been canceled. Where Faust will go is unknown, yet its new high sales means that collectors are still seeking these out.
I want to ask a trivia question about this and see how deep you guys know, because there is a song that is referenced throughout this first issue. First one to guess it will get a
Marvel
we'll
No
get a
Prize.
Yep. No, they're gonna get
got a
a
prize?
Nerd City Comics book. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
So
put a start line down. Okay, yeah,
yeah,
you're serious right now. Start line
yeah.
is
For those who
down.
have read it, yeah.
Oh, I
And
put over
you,
6 in the wrong chat.
I've
yeah.
seen some covers for this
Sorry.
book that are pretty yeah. There was one with a female on it, and she's
There it is. Say the
It
say
is.
it's not. Say get out of here.
It's
right? Get
really
outta here.
graphic. I mean, all right.
very
If you don't,
graphic. Right?
if you don't know the song, at least name the artist. It's throughout the entire series. It's like issue. It's like playing in the background. Like,
Oh, is this it?
no,
That's
No, that would have been a
close
good
enough.
one. That's a good guess.
no, nope. So far, none.
Hotel
So,
California. No. Oh.
nope.
Oh, I'm waiting
So
for
keep
somebody to
on.
get it.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, is that right?
Can you give us
Nope.
a hint as to who the artist is? No. Or that
Two
gives
artists
it
have
away?
done the song before.
2 artists have done the song.
Yeah. Both legendary. One country singer, one a rock and roll singer. I'll leave it at that. There you go.
Are you
Boom.
lonesome tonight? Really?
Yep.
Ooh.
John Holme with the deep dive or the fast Google search. Hit up
Well
Bird City
done,
Comics, and
Write
yeah.
that down, Laura. John
Holme hit up Bird City
Holme.
Comics, and we're gonna send you out a
Yes.
set of
Message
this.
me because I'll forget.
Yeah, on Instagram.
I don't know
And they're going to mail you a copy of this. Congratulations. That's our first winner for today. Let me go back to Faust. Yeah. So it plays out throughout the comic in the background, which is special Marvel No Prize for Two Live Crew. So John Holme got it. Are you lonesome tonight?
I would never have guessed that in a million years.
Creepy.
Yeah, it's such a trippy read. I remember I bought it when it came out on the shelf, and I was like, good Lord, this is like really graphic, like violence and nudity and sex. I mean, I can't even tell you like exactly all it entails, but it's pretty great. But special no prize for guessing Two Live Crew. But Faust issue number 1 from North Star Comics, January 1989, or CDC 9.8 for $480, and it's black and white too on the inside, if you didn't know. So I'm not shocked. I'm surprised that this book finally made it up on any of our lists, because with the upcoming show coming.
Somebody might actually have this. This is a chance, if you haven't made the list, that you might have a chance here. The Last of Us, American Dreams, number 1. It is the second print from 2013, published by Dark Horse. The Last of Us is generational, with masterpiece status attached. If you played it, you understand. The Last of Us has been remastered 3 times, received a quick sequel, and now a television adaptation also hailed as a masterpiece. Point is, this Neil Druckmann guy seems to have the post-apocalyptic storytelling thing figured out. That all began with the first game and this book. But the world wasn't quite sure what this would end up becoming. Created concurrently with the first game as a tie-in, it featured the life of Ellie before the events of the game. It's something a lot of fans didn't realize existed, even though it warranted a second and third print. Recently, one such second print came to market, a reported 9.4 near mint raw copy, and quickly sold for $100, a new record high sale. It last sold in that reported grade for $25 back in 2017, and it also surpassed the most recent graded sale in a 9.4 by $10. While first prints typically sell for 50% more, the second prints are slowly catching up as the arguably rarer version, it's the rarer version to get. The first print only had a reported 6,000 copies produced, and that number only went down the subsequent printings. One such fan scored a hell of a book just in time to celebrate the release of the show.
All right, we're at 56 likes. If we get to 75 likes, I'm going to give away something else if you answer this question. I was going to use this as a question before, but the girl on the show and Diego Luna, what was his name? Is that his name? Diego Luna is the actor. What
so.
TV show did they both appear on?
Together.
Well, I meant they were on the same series, but they didn't share any same scenes together. But they were on the same series together. So
I honestly don't know.
Look at TiVo busting out all the trivia.
Yeah. So she
Damn.
was the little Lady Mormont, and of course Diego Luna was the Viper, right?
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Are you really gonna send him a prize? You ain't sending it. Get out.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
send him a
something.
prize.
We'll send him something. Yeah.
That was arguably one of the best characters from that show, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Lady Mormont stands with the North.
Yeah, she's so badass, even though she's like 3 feet tall.
And then when Pedro Pascal went, it was Pedro Pascal. Yeah,
That's what you
Pedro
said.
Pascal he had the mountain. He could have killed him. And
Yeah,
then
he had to show off and him get his head crushed. Come on, man.
He just died just horribly, but it was, man, he had him too, because he was like, man, it so sucks.
Don't get
anyway.
cocky. That's the moral there. Don't get cocky.
It
and
is,
think that
man.
you won when you haven't finished
Dancing
it.
around. I meant, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of great actors that were on the Game of Thrones series. I was just telling people, check out The Rig. I don't know if you guys got to check that out on Amazon Prime.
Not
Two
yet.
guys from the Game of Thrones were on that as well. So yeah, a lot of Game of Thrones people coming out doing different series. So right now I'm on a Viking kick. So if you better catch up, Laura, because Vikings Valhalla season 2 just dropped today. I almost finished it.
Man, yeah, I need to do that.
It's a must watch. It's not as big as the first one, but it's still a great watch.
Lord of Brooklyn, I'm fine being a Targaryen. Fine with it.
She's a dragon queen.
Although I think I'm more of a Lannister, to be honest. But
Ooh, I am definitely a Stark. I'm the king of. I'm from the north. You know what I'm saying?
really, I would tag you again as a Lannister.
Ugh! Oh, that cuts deep. That cuts deep.
I mean that as a compliment.
Okay.
She's
All
giving
right.
you a compliment. He's
Jamie
like,
Lannister.
"Ah,
All right, man.
you
All right.
hurt me bad.
The Last of Us: American Dreams, issue number 1, second print from Dark Horse from 2013. $100 for a raw near mint. That seems
Tyrion's like the best
undervalued to
character.
me. That seems really
Yeah.
undervalued to me. All right, let's get a next one up as part of our over/under list.
Now, somebody may have this because there's a lot of these, and I'm gonna drop some numbers on you that you didn't know. All right, next up on the list, to the 115 awesome live people in the chat who are hitting that thumbs up right now, we've got Spider-Man issue number 1, the newsstand green polybag edition from 1990. Now, Spider-Man number 1 is one of the most printed comics of all time with a reported 2.5 million copies. It's also one of the most beloved and therefore homaged covers of all time. This was the cover that put Todd McFarlane on the map and is a book every fanboy owned. 33 years later, it's seen a significant pop in nostalgia buys. For starters, It's a modern cover grail that has been exceptionally affordable. Yet, over the past year, sales have surged in volume and price. In fact, the regular edition came in number 10 on our top selling aftermarket comics list for 2022 with, you ready for this, 1,082 total units sold last year, along with the silver variant as the number 3 best selling aftermarket variant with 765 units sold, and the platinum edition as the number 10 highest grossing variant with 79 units sold and a total of $81,000. Basically, this book is hotter than it's been since its mega launch in 1990. Yet, fans pass over it time and time again due to its high print run and years of low value. Yet, this newsstand edition of the standard green cover is one cover you should not pass over. In 1990, newsstand editions made up 15% of the print run. While that's still a huge number, it's getting harder and harder to find compared to the direct edition. High grade copies are especially difficult due to years of lingering in dusty dollar boxes. When a near mint raw copies are at a fair market value of $30, this week's new high sale of $595 for a CGC 9.8 makes this a fantastic stealth buy. Now, we definitely expect prices to continue to increase on this as copies become harder to find with each passing year.
Well said.
There is let me look it up, but the print runs, there was a website that I found, like it showed like the biggest print runs of the week for like from 2000 or 1990 to like 2005, and they were in the upwards of 900,000 to 1,500 in some cases, or 1.5 million in some cases. I mean, it was huge. I mean, this
Wow.
is right before the crash of the the market, because it wasn't variance that killed the market. It was there was a lot of mitigating factors. Multiple variants was part of it, but also distribution. There was a huge distribution war, and then basically they couldn't handle it. Kind of similar what went on with Diamond a few years ago, right? Where but back then it was like, I remember anybody can be a distributor or a comic shop. I remember going to a dude's garage in like the late 80s, and I thought this was a comic shop. It is, because I come inside and it's a garage, but I thought all you needed to do was to get a distributor license, is just sell them on there. But nowadays, you have online stores like Bird City Comics, and you have other things. So it's amazing that LCSs still are able to exist now. The ones that really good LCSs were able to exist through this. Like I always tell the story that, and when I lived in Milpitas up near San Jose, there was a little strip mall. There was a comic shop on one end and a comic shop on one end. Literally, it was like in the same strip mall there was two comic shops. And I remember
TiVo, I had a store in that mall. That was the Great Mall of the Bay Area. And that was
this is way before
cut through. Oh, way before
this
that.
is way before that. This is off of, I want to say, Calaveras. It was a little strip. Remember the Golf Land? There was a golf land by there. That's a deep cut, by the way, for the people in the Bay Area. There used to be a golf land right off the freeway, and inside that strip mall there was two comic shops. But this is way before the Great Mall of America. That giant thing just gobbled everything up. So Spider-Man #1, the newsstand green poly bag from 1990, 9.8 for $595. He told you even right there, right on the cover, that it's collector's item. You should have got it. What were you aiming for? Anyway. All right, what we got for next one?
All right, Teen Titans Go #1 from 2003. In the 90s and early 2000s, DC dominated the animated market with some of the best comic content. In 2003, the Teen Titans series on Kids WB was immediately popular amongst DC fans, running for 5 seasons and nominated for multiple awards. The 2003 comic series, based on the animated characters, would foreshadow a big shift for the show and characters 10 years later in 2013, with a major relaunch using a more comedic tone and style entitled Teen Titans Go. While many fans hated this sharp shift, it began to take a life on of its own with brilliant writing, music, you must watch The Night Begins to Shine, and tongue-in-cheek nods to the overall seriousness of the DC universe. Its popularity was massive and ran for 367 episodes in 8 seasons, and is effectively the most successful DC animated series. Batman the Animated Series only ran for 85 episodes, just to put it in perspective. Due to this, the fan base for Teen Titan Go is huge. Their first comic appearance trending should be no surprise to those who love this first issue. While this first issue features the more serious versions of the eventual Teen Titan Go cast, voice actors, characters, and showrunners, it was pretty much the same for Teen Titans Go. In fact, the newer show often referenced how much they changed over the years. It previously clearly picked up the title from this comic, and of course, Robin's catchphrase. And now those fans are rewarded with a high-value book in their collection after a CGC 9.8 sold this week for a new high of $650.
Crazy.
Crazy money.
Yeah, it's a shame of what I mean. We used to have as far as animated issues stuff, just like Teen Titans Go and what they did. Remember before it was HBO Universe or DC Universe or whatever, you had to buy the DVDs. Now you can buy it online, but like some of the greatest DC stories are told in animated form. Like I always say, like the Justice League and Injustice and Justice League Dark are absolutely fantastic, and you can both stream those on HBO Max right now. So it's pretty cool, man. Good to see this. I didn't expect this. So down our last
Great
shaker now.
too.
On our last shaker now, let's see over unders are. Oh,
Yeah, well, ooh, all right, everybody. The final book. This is why you keep digging in them long boxes right here. Next up, Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 40, the Mark Bagley, wait for it, Frigo Cheeseheads Sweepstakes edition, originally published in 2003. Now, as a general rule these days, any comic that you had to mail away for is becoming quite valuable these days. This sweepstakes with Frigo Cheeseheads, which was string cheese, required participants to mail in 3 Frigo Cheesehead barcodes to its manufacturer to be entered to win a copy of Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 40. Now, 5,000 winners were selected and mailed out a copy of this issue featuring not for resale where the barcode would be. Now, valued at $3.95, this issue must have seemed like a big deal at the time. Since this isn't a key or notable issue, copies are either still sitting in collections or tucked away in comic shops' dollar bins and back issues. This is another excellent treasure hunt book and stealth buy for all the reasons noted above. It's an issue that shops will quickly pass over, yet with this week's new high of $362 for a VF Raw, makes it one of the most valuable books in the entire Ultimate series. Due to its black framed cover, high-grade copies will be super rare and will command an even larger price. Happy hunting, and keep digging in them long boxes.
what the fuck is a Frigo Cheesehead? That's the only thing I was like,
Cheese,
what?
isn't it?
No,
Isn't it
I
the
mean
same thing?
Frito. I heard of Frito. And I heard
Frigo
of
cheese. These are
Frigo,
cheese
yeah.
sticks. Cheese sticks. They said string cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's-
yeah. I fucking love string cheese.
I know, who doesn't?
All right. Cheese.
You got to
man,
eat it
but-
properly. Don't just chomp a
Oh no,
string
you have
cheese
to
like it's a
stripe it
freaking hot
down,
dog.
right?
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you're
what
not
kind of
striping it
maniac
down,
are
don't
you?
eat it in front
That's
of
like
me. What is
people
wrong with
eating
you?
banana sideways.
My
What the hell's
wife
wrong
is
with you?
just chomping it down like a hot dog. I'm like, no.
No,
can't
you
eat
have to
cheese
string it
like
out,
that.
man. So let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did anybody hit 4 on the head in the live chat?
Rudy
There
did.
were. I don't know how far back this goes, but I know there was a couple of 4s in there early on.
Well, we'll have to scroll up here.
I don't know
to
if
the
it'll
very
load them all the way up.
beginning. Yeah, there's a ton of comments.
Is it the first person to have 4?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we look all the way back up to the start line here.
No, I want string cheese.
All
think
right, yeah,
have
I got the
one.
start line here.
Look like
you were saying
Lon
over
Espinosa.
4?
Yeah, you just had to say the number 4. So it looks like Lords of Brooklyn got it at 4.
Really?
I see
Yeah.
Lon Espinosa at 6:10. What time is Lords of Brooklyn?
Let me scroll. I have.
I'm looking at it right now. Lords of Brooklyn.
Oh no, you're
Laura.
right. They said over 4, 610. Yeah, they were first.
Yeah. So
First one was Rudy. Yep. But it is
No.
4. Didn't it land on 4? Did it land on 4? It's not over 4. It is 4. And
We'll
then it
give
would
it
be
to him.
Lon
Whoever said
or
4, we'll
John.
just give it to him. It was, who did I say? Lon Espinosa, or who did I say?
Lords
said
of
Lord of
Brooklyn was the
Brooklyn.
first one.
Yeah,
Said
Lords of
over
Brooklyn.
4.
Yeah, Lords of Brooklyn. Hit up Bird City
I
Comics.
found
and
it. They said over 4, and then the first straight 4 was Lon.
We'll give you something too. Just hit me up on the Instagram and I'll send you something as well. But Lords of Brooklyn, hit up Bird City Comics for this awesome exclusive that drops on Friday. We're just in a gift of giving, man. Boom, there's that. And then we're gonna see what's shaking today, boys and girls, and maybe we'll give away some more stuff if we get to 75 likes. We're still only at
We
60.
never got to 75 likes with 121 of the best fans on YouTube. Come on, folks. Take a moment.
They're all savages. I tell you, they're savages.
Take a moment.
Let me get my window.
Hit the like.
And share.
This is what we call the seamless transition right now.
Yeah.
This is production at its highest level.
Let's go and see what's shaking today, boys and girls. This is the CovrPrice top 10. Secret Wars dominating. Spider-Man still on there. Spawn and this Jenny Frison. Remember we had that.
Frison.
We had that talk about her how to pronounce her name. These are the most units sold. Gold Goblin, huh? Interesting spec. But we're here to see what's shaking, boys and girls. Shall we? Let's see what's shaking. And today's top shakers. Hey, I still have my Hulk 181 on. I don't know why it's not on there.
Why is that not on there?
Let me show you guys
There's
how
my
to.
pick. Astonishing 30 made it. There you go.
Nice.
Let me see. Let me add this to my collection. Mine is a CGC. Where is that?
Right there where it says raw. Click it down to CGC.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it is a 7.5. And add it. And that's as simple as that, boys and girls. Now it's on there.
Bam.
It'll take a while for it to update. Good old first appearance of Paste Pot Pete making it on the list. Look at that Monster of Frankenstein. There's another Hulk 181. Another Strange Tales 110. Wow.
Different grades, right? There's some
Yeah.
different dollar amounts and different grades.
Yeah, one was raw and one was slabbed. Yeah.
Okay.
This is interesting. Let's look at this. This is
What
fun.
is that?
I have no idea.
I've
Weekly
never seen
Shonen
this.
Jump, the first appearance of One Piece for all those playing at home. If you have the first appearance of One Piece, and Raw Dog sold for as highest one value is $2,500 recently, 1,500 raw, no grade. I have no idea what that is. But,
None of us do. We're like, what?
Can you imagine dropping
I can't
$1,500 on
wait.
a raw book just on the pictures? Like, just freaking
for
out.
those
Waiting for it
who
to show
watch
up.
the NCAA championship game just to watch the new Ant-Man trailer. God damn, that game was over after the first quarter. But they showed the new Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania. I cannot wait for that to come out. There's, the producers are saying it's an Avengers level type film, and there's all types of theories going on. Emergency Awesome did a great video about what's going on and how Quantumania bridges over to Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Remember the end credit scene with Wong, and inside the Ten Rings was sending a signal. And they're saying that signal is coming from the quantum realm. So we'll see if they're correct. Virgil Awesome is pretty good at this stuff. So, I would say yes. Why not? Here's some. I love these goofy covers. Good old Justice League for Silver Age. I don't know why they're on a Viking ship with a slave ship book link now.
Yeah, you've got Green Lantern there. What is you got? Is his ring dead? Come on, man.
Who's the dude in pink? For you, gosh,
I don't know.
That's always goofy though. I love
That's
those.
fun.
Yeah. Another War Victory Comics from Harvey. My man's got a arm and a sling, and he's still throwing down.
Still throwing. Plus, when you're on the battlefield, what you want is a big, huge yellow cape and a red costume when you're running around.
Exactly. Yeah. You probably don't want that. Yeah. Unless you're bulletproof, then it is fine. But there's a Hulk 180 conversation we always have, and there's another appearance of Kang. What is this? Top Notch Comics.
What
Number
is
1
that?
from Archie. Look at this. Is that Mandrake?
Is it? Slide
I don't
down.
know.
I
That's a
was
deep
gonna say,
dive for you guys. If
that's
you guys know who Man Jake the Magician is, that's a really deep dive. Good old Wonder Woman Golden Age. Look at this one, 1947. Back when she had the hot shorts, the
Oh my
Golden
God, I love
Women,
it.
and the White Star. This is from 1947, guys. CGC 5.0 sold for $675. Highest known value $10,200 and a 9.6. That is a lot of coin. Daring Adventures. Still looking for a good girl cover for Laura here. See if we got.
I know.
any
I'm
on
looking
this.
too. I'm scanning around.
Seeing
well,
Shock
hold on.
Me.
Go back up to that Lois Lane one, maybe.
No,
She's not blonde.
definitely
Sorry.
not. Definitely not a
Definitely
good
not.
girl comic.
And thank you
got
to everybody
Batgirl.
that tags me when you find those. I get a lot of people tagging me when they find those covers.
You're getting
My-
killed
my
on the
stuff.
live chat. They're calling you a Khaleesi. They're like, damn, all right. Queen of Dragons it is, man. Oh, here we go. Well, it's not a good girl cover, but it's one of Adam Hughes' most popular covers.
Yeah,
From The
it's
Dirty
still
Pair.
on.
The Dirty Pair, Run from the Future, Adam Hughes, number one, 426 and 9.8, $800. I'm a man. The Doom 143 has shown this book numerous times on his channel. I have this book, pretty high grade too. I believe mine is like a 6.0 or something like that. How do I see if I click on here? It was pretty high grade. I got it from my LCS. It had a early collection of X-Men. Let's see.
Yeah, so it should show you what year.
Yeah, I have a 5.0.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty high grade. The highest one I have is X-Men number 9 or 10, and it's a 9.0, which
Is
was
9 with
Evo's
the
flexing.
big Xavier's chair, big old yellow.
It's the first appearance of Kazar, I want to say. Maybe it's
Scoot
I'm
over a
off on-
couple. It's right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's only a couple.
yeah, it's definitely
yeah,
not 9.
nine's not
It's
9.
this one, yeah.
Yeah, see, he's got that goofy
it-
chair. Look, go back to
Yeah.
9. He's got that goofy chair. Right on the bottom, it looks like a tank.
Jeez. Oh, and it looks like Kang. Don't wait till you meet Lucifer, who looks suspiciously like Kang. For those in the live chat, shall we give some stuff away again?
I don't. Do we get to 75? I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
we're at
if we don't get
83.
to 75 likes, we're not giving anything else away.
We're at 83 likes right now. So
All right, we're good to go.
all
Okay.
right, let's see. Let's
Give my blessing now.
start collecting comments. This stuff never works for me, by the way.
You're gonna share it?
Sure.
I don't know why it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. So make sure you guys are commenting. I mean, people have been commenting. So
What are we giving
Yeah,
away
the
right
comment.
now?
What are we?
The
Are we
local
giving
man?
away the book?
Yeah, we're gonna give
You
away
giving away the
the
book?
Friday drop.
The Friday.
All right. stuff.
Let's see here. Share screen. Seamless transition.
Seamless
into-
transitions. Seamless.
This book is actually making me want to read Spawn. I hate to admit it, I've never read Spawn.
Really?
No,
Okay.
Anthony was telling me a bit about it today. He's like, I used to read a lot as a kid, and he told me some of the backstory. And yeah, I think I'm sold.
So it says 30 comments. So
It always
hey,
says 30.
yeah, what are you gonna do,
It
man?
does
Let's do
always
it.
say 30 on this
It
one. doesn't it?
always says 30.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I know,
Yeah.
Rudy. I know. I'm ashamed to admit that I've never read Spawn. It's one that I need to.
Yeah. So let's just draw and see what we get, man. There's way more than 30
Yeah, come
names
on,
that just
man.
dropped
There's
in there.
people Come on.
Donut Junkie.
Donut, junkie.
All right.
You want me to
Man,
write that
I am
down?
starving
Donut
right now. What
junkie?
I'll talk about cheese
Cheese
things and
junkie.
Donut Junkie 25. Please hit up Bird City Comics on Instagram. Make sure you are subscribed to them. Sign up for an account. That's one of the caveats. If you want the giveaway, you got to sign up for their newsletter and be
Get the
subscribed to
newsletter.
this
It's an
channel.
email. Come on.
And we'll give you guys some stuff. For those who have won stuff from me that wasn't directly from Bird City Comics, message me again. I have to mail it to you. I also have, you know what? Can I show it?
Can you
Show
show
what?
it? He's who are you asking permission? Me? Her? What-
Well, no, I meant
It's your
this.
channel.
I'm gonna.
What are you showing?
What are you showing? We need to clarify.
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles. Okay, yeah, you
Yes.
can do those.
This cover. This
They're full
cover.
Ivan
I got
Tao.
those. Those are the
Yep.
first ones I bought from you.
We are running so low
Awesome.
on those too. If you guys haven't grabbed those, I would definitely do that quickly.
This.
Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny Frieson.
Let's book a slaughter.
And the color. So
Mm.
yeah, man.
So-
So
Are you giving away another book? Is what you're saying?
no, for the people who won already,
No.
I'm gonna send those as well because I remember they also won like the plush and the I Hate Fairyland books.
Okay.
So just to make it up for you, since I haven't shipped, we'll do it then as well.
Lacking.
I know I am a slacker. It's the new year. That's my New Year's resolution is slack. So I'm gonna blame it on the rain. So right at 7:00, boys and girls. Laura, any last words?
I'm glad people in the chat haven't read Spawn 2 because I felt really bad admitting that. But I'm gonna read it. I need to kind of get some more under my belt there because Angela sounds like a really interesting character. So any last words? Make sure you are subbed to the text line. I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if Anthony's watching or not. Next week we will be dropping not one, but 2 8 Billion Genies number 8, wrapping up the series. One will be 100% a Bird City Comics exclusive. The other one, we teamed up with Lords of the Long Box. Very excited to show those.
Boom.
So yeah, make sure you're following us on Instagram and be ready because we're keeping the print run low. I know it's gonna make people mad, but that's the truth of it. We're keeping them pretty low. So follow us and keep an eye out.
You're muted, TiVo. You're muted.
Thanks, Rudy, for the $5 super chat. We're going to show a cover next Tuesday when we finally get approval. It's pretty exciting. 8 Billion Genies number 8, kind of apropos, right? And it's going to be a collab with Bird City Comics. They're going to sell some at their store, on their online store, as well as my LCS, Comics, Tunes, and Toys in Tustin, California. And possibly there will be a signing there as well.
Maybe.
So we're just gonna have to stay tuned and find out and see what it is. If you want my signature, I mean, I'll be there. I don't know why you'd want my signature, but I mean, I'll sign it if you want. But but I believe it's gonna be on fleek. See what it did there?
I want to go too. I'm trying to convince Ann to let me go to that because I want to be there for that.
Beautiful sunny Southern California. Well, it hasn't been recently, but by March it should dry up by then. It's been torrential downfalls, but we need it.
I like rain. I'm okay with it.
I love rain. The last few days, I mean, JB is probably sick of it. He's up in Northwest right now. JB, any last words?
Yeah, thank you to this crowd. Awesome. Again, we wouldn't do the show if it wasn't for you guys coming out in huge numbers. So we really do appreciate you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Uncle Rum and Curtis give me a bad time. Make sure you're following me on all the socials, on all the different social media platforms. And as always, don't forget, we had a good time.
Yes.
All right, let me Google Oberyn Martell, man, because he's saying, oh yeah, I'm down with that.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. He went out like he almost get Hill Mountain, but I'll take instead. I mean, Zotto, you're Sir Otto Hightower, and you're Khaleesi. So there it is. So those are our names. We're gonna have to dress the part next time. So I'll just be a dude with his skull, his skull crushed, his eyeballs popped out. So Oberyn Martell, it is badass. Yeah,
I have the Khaleesi outfit actually. I cosplayed as that a while back.
Boom, there you go. The Oberyn Martell, he looks like he wears a dress, so I can do that. I mean, he's the Viper. Come on now.
You can pull it off.
I can do that. He's in The Last of Us too, so he's a survivor, man. So for late JB, Laura, this is TiVo. Make sure you for all the winners, hit up Bird City Comics, and for those who won the past ones that I'm supposed to be, hit me up on Instagram and remind me so I can mail it out to you. Until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in the long boxes. Peace.
Shake and make it, pull it back.
Oh my God.
Hold on and get some, boys.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 3 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
TV.
That's a name I've not heard. Back it up, fuzzball.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is update.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is update. In this, you shall know that the Lord is update.
I want to get some, boys.
Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is update.
What's in the box?